Hi everyone, welcome to AeginaCraft. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the shop, the first month, my experiences, what I learned, how things been going, and everything in between. So this is a recap of the first month of AeginaCraft. So first, allow me to show you around. At the door, I have my obligatory evil eyes, just to make sure that no bad wishes, curses, or anything else can come through my door. And I have my eye candy trays out exhibited. I have my very tasteful opening hours and my open sign. Yes, I know I need to do better. Look, this is what I have right now, okay? Right here, I got my small gifts that people can buy if they visit Egina and they want to take something home from here. I have these cutesy little bottles with some sand and seashells in them with a little boat on top. Anyway, I have the trays exhibited over here. These are the small ones. They fit in a suitcase, you know, and I have my ocean wave trays right here for people to buy. I have some artwork hanging here, some of my paintings, the earlier ones, some of the later ones. Oh, another evil eye just to make sure that it will catch everything. I have some of my tables out here, some of my resin hidden underneath. You know, it is me. I have the AeginaCraft magic juice right here. Let me give you a better view. I have my fan going, and this is how we're looking right now. So here I try to, so when somebody walks in, they should see the small knickknacks, the trays, and as they walk in, the shop reveals itself a little bit more. They see bigger, nicer artwork. Here, I opened up this table because this table was smaller, but I realized I can extend it a little. So now I have my spray paint art right here. The jewelry what my friend made, which goes for the Egina Cats nurturing program donation thingy right there. Some of my trays here just to fill up some space. And these are the artworks of Cotton Fort here, who is a very dear friend of mine. And she asked me if I want to exhibit some of her works. And these are her drawings, or actually pictures, photos of her drawings. And these prints are available to buy here locally. Anyway, my spray paint art still there. Some of my pictures still there. I put my oak cutting boards up there. Chronos and the trays over here. Not much has changed on this side. I moved this little guy here. This is my altar. Yeah, this is my altar for the local deities, just to make sure that I'm on good terms with all the gods of all religions. Some of my commendations and shit. This is the first 20 euro I received from my friend, and it says on the paper that many more to come. It's a normal thing to do in Greece, to give some money, and you have to display it in your shop. And of course, I got the turtle coin, which is the first ever minted coin on Earth, and it was minted in here in Egina many thousands of years ago. What else? Computer, yeah, desk. You know, not much else to see here. Now, upstairs, you guys been upstairs, you know how it is. I have the table there and a bunch of mess. So I think it's time that I start recording what I've been doing. All right, so this is basically what happened in the shop. I set up a few lights upstairs, and I set up a little fold-out table where I can do some small resin work while I'm in the shop. Now, let's talk about what I learned and what actually has been going on in the shop in the first month. So in the first month of the shop, I had a lot of visitors from all over the island, a lot of friends, acquaintances, and people who've been living in the town, and they were wondering what's going on in here. Everybody was interested and cautious in the beginning. They just walked around, you know, very politely, very distant look around. But after a while, I started asking questions. You know, I tried to engage in some kind of a small talk. I am really bad at it. Like, doing small talk is the bane of my existence because I like to talk about meaningful stuff and not about like how is the weather and all that shit. Long story short, I actually had a quite a nice discussion with these people, and when they left, they usually left with something they bought or with a smile, you know. And I told everyone my story, how we got here, and all that jazz, and people became friendlier and friendlier. The locals here in the vicinity started recognizing me, saying hi in the morning. You know, I come here in the morning, so they've been friendlier and friendlier every time. The grocery store lady, you know, the matriarch of the street, she doesn't talk to me in English anymore. Whatever I want, I need to say it in Greek. Otherwise, she's not going to serve me, so she's teaching me Greek. The same with the pizzeria lady. I need to tell what I want to eat in Greek because then she says she don't understand. She does understand, but they're forcing me to learn the language, which is great. I'm so happy about it. They took me in as their protege or something. Anyway, yeah. So I had a lot of local guests. I barely had any tourists coming in. I could say like because I'm further away from the port, let's say it takes about 10-15 minutes to walk here from the port where they get off from the boat. And at the port area, there are hundreds of loud, noisy, colorful souvenir shops, extremely beautiful, stuffed with the more and more beautiful art pieces. And by the time they get here, they are sensory overloaded, loaded, dehydrated, and tired and confused, and they just want to get it over with at this point. Because people usually come here either for a week or two, or they pop over for a day trip, and they come with a ferry. They spend a few hours here in town. They go to the beach, and they go back to Athens to the big city. And whoever comes here for a day, they just walk around, you know, very fast, get all the senses in, and they leave. So thus, I don't have too many tourists customers. Whoever comes in, they usually like I had like 5 or 6, and I think 4 of them bought something, you know, which is good. But most of my clients are or customers are local people who are buying gifts for their friends, family, or for some occasion. So here in Greece, in Eastern Europe, it's a tradition when you visit somebody's house, you bring a gift, a small gift, or small little something. And these days, it is mainly a pot of flour, a cheap flour, or a drink, or candy or sweets. But and that's what people here gift each other for birthdays, name days, uh, all religious events and everything in between. Now the problem is if you live here on the island for about 30 years, you're not going to go to a souvenir shop to buy something knickknack for your aunt or your cousin because you lived here for 30 years. Everybody has everything by now. So I came here, and people started buying little coaster sets. The round ocean wave coaster set is a favorite, or little trays up to 50 euros. They usually buy stuff. Uh, Foreigners who live on the island and they visit family members overseas, they usually buy bigger stuff because it fits in a big suitcase, and they bring it back to the other countries. Tables, I haven't sold one. So yeah, I don't think they're overpriced. I price them between 100 to 600 euros, and dude, that's the material cost and the labor on it. I can't go any cheaper than that. Otherwise, I can have my money sit in it as long as I want, but that's how much it costs. Yes, tables are not selling very well. I keep them as a it's good to see and show example of everything I do here. I don't know how to market tables here on the island. And the other thing is, like, everybody has a table now. Everybody has a coffee table. You don't buy coffee tables every year. That's not a thing. You buy trays, you buy gifts, you buy coasters, you buy whatever, soap dishes. But you only have one living room, and you redecorate your living room every 5 years or so. You don't need a coffee table that much. However, I'm gonna keep them here because they show an example of what things can be done, and if they want to order something custom, it is possible. I've been doing this little exhibition for Katu for the last few days. Sadly, I had no customers whatsoever. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna. So that's the thing. If I do an exhibition here, I should put them on my web shop, or it should be available for people to buy online due to my YouTube channel. Uh, but I realized that would make me do. So I need to make a page for every person I'm doing a exhibition for. I need to do the administration, taxation for every exhibition I do, and then I have to deal with the postage and sorting out the labeling and everything because it comes through my Shopify. Packaging costs and everything. So it would cost me more work to sell other people's stuff than selling my own. And if I sell a picture for 25 euros, even if I go half and half, I spend about at least 3-4 hours dealing with every single cell, and I have to pay taxes after the 25 euros sell. So I don't think it's viable. It's a nice exhibition though. For the next time, I will ask my artists who exhibits to create their own web shop, and I link it. That's probably something I'm gonna do. For now, it's a good start. It's a good way to learn things. It's the first exhibition, so we'll see. I need to promote it though a little bit more. What else been going on? I canceled my air conditioner order because I've been doing a fuck up. English, I swear. I'm sorry, I need to hydrate. So, next, let's talk business. So, I have run a hotel. I had my own guest house. I had my own pub, restaurant. I had my own painting and decorating business. I was a 3D animator contractor. I was a freelancer, AI researcher, animator, video editor, and so on and so forth. What I'm saying is, all my life, I have been either working for somebody for a paycheck, or I've been working as a contractor, which means that I had a business where I had clients booked in for services or goods in the future. So I was able to predict my income and my work a few months or years ahead because of my bookings. Thus, I was able to predict the cash flow of my business in the coming months or year with more or less accuracy, right? Now, I opened AeginaCraft. So back to that, back up a little. So when you have the capability to project your revenue or predict your revenue, you are able to work with the actual amount of cash you have at hand so that you can invest, pay the bills, or spend because you are expecting money coming in and you know how much you can expect. Thus, you can reinvest into the business, raise the business, get stock, and stuff. Now, running a retail shop, it's completely different. And I never actually thought about it that much. So here's what I done, and here's where I messed up. At the first month, I had income every day. I sold something every day in the shop, which was great. Problem was, every day I made money, I reinvested that money or most of that money into buying stock because I had just some amount of wood, I had just some amount of blanks, trays, and stuff. I didn't have a huge stock of bare materials like resin, like colors. You know what I'm talking about. So what I'd done is when I sold something, I sold a tray for €100, for example. I reinvested about 90 or 80 euros of that money to buy like 10 more of the wood I used for the trays. Okay, thus I didn't have enough cash on hand, and I assumed from the week's revenue or the month's revenue that next week or next month. So that was the problem. Every week I had revenue. So after 4 weeks, I expected next month I'm gonna have pretty much the same way of money coming in. And I predicted on the 4 weeks that on the fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth week, I'm gonna have the same revenue level. And that's where I fucked up. Basically, I made about $1,000 in the first month. Revenue, total. And I reinvested about 70% of, more than 80% of that money into materials. So I have like 3 times as the stock I had when I started. But now I didn't have cash reserve to pay the bills because I expected like, okay, I have stock, I'm gonna have customers, I'm gonna be able to pay the bills when the bills come from the money what I make that week. And that's where I messed up. So I didn't have customers for the first week of August. So basically what happens in August on the island, all the resorts get packed with summer holiday people, and the locals leave the island and visit family members on the mainland just to get away from all this madness of tourism. Long story short, we don't have that many tourists this year, barely any. Like everything runs on a 40-50% fullness, or what you call it. Now you know what I mean. So everything is 40-50% full, and all the locals have pretty much left the island. So what I have right now is barely any traffic, and I don't really have revenue. Like this is the 8th of August, and my last customer was on Sunday, on the 4th. So 4 days ago, I had a customer who bought some stuff for €45 during the live stream. That was it. And I had 2 people come in the shop in the 4 days. So that's what I mean. I grossly messed up. So I had to put my thinking hat on because I had my credit card bills coming in at the 7th of August. I had to pay like €300 credit card bill out, and I had zero cash at hand because I paid the rent, and the electric bill. So I was sitting here and I was like, I had this massive revenue. Where did I fuck up? So I had to long, hard think of how things flow. And this was my conclusion. This is what I learned, that running a retail business, it's the exact opposite of running a contract-based business. A contract-based business, you can loan yourself some money from the future, which you can spend right now to increase the quality or the amount of work or your company. So thus you can work in the future a little bit. You can spend from the future a little bit. In retail, you have to spend money from the past. What I mean by that, you have to create a cash reserve, a jar of money with a certain amount, let's say $5,000. And when the jar is full of that $5,000, you can start spending like 2,000 of it for business improvements and stuff. No more than that. And then when the jar is full of 5,000 again, you can spend another 2,000 from it. But you have to have a massive cash reserve in case you don't have revenue for a certain amount of time. Now I calculated, and my yearly rent is about 5,000 something hundred euros. So what I think would be the best if I can have 6 months rent, so about $2,500 in reserve in case whatever happens. If I have 0 customers for 6 months, I can still pay the rent, and then whatever money I get above that, I can reinvest in a business. But I have to keep some reserve for survival, and for survival, I need to reserve about $1,500 every month. So I need to add this up together. That's 9,000. So I need to get like about $15,000 in cash reserve, and that would mean that if anything happens and I have 0 income for 6 months, I am safe. I am covered. I have no issues. Once I have that money, I can invest into expanding the business. Now, after every sale, I need to make sure that the cost of the material is deducted immediately, and I reinvest only as much as I already spent on the materials of that one item I sold. I know it could be, I try to keep it simple. I really hope I make sense, but this is my train of thought. So right now I canceled every expansion, air conditioner, and all that shit, because right now I need to build a cash reserve, and that's gonna be an interesting challenge. But at least I learned it in the first month of running a business, and not in the 6th month when I went totally bankrupt. I'm kind of bankrupt, but still, I understand how a business should run if it's a retail shop. It is totally different to everything I ever done before, and thanks to you guys who support me on buymeacoffee.com and buy my shit from my web shop, I was able to pay my credit card bills this month, which was fucking insane. Because I used credit cards. I thanked credit cards to buy stock, like resin, wood. Shit, I know. Credit is bad. I know I'm not supposed to, but I had no other option. Either I spend the credit cards on food and electricity, and I die. Like I use it up in longer time, or I invest it into something which can actually make some money. So here we are. Problem is, my credit cards are like 35% interest and 49% interest rates, because I accumulated some bad credit, and the interest rate raised the worst credit I get. Just British things, I guess. Anyhow, so thanks to you, I was able to pay my credit card bills this month, and now whatever money comes in and whatever I sell, it goes into the reserve. No spending, zero spending, just bills and money reserve. I'm not gonna spend anything on stock. I have enough of things. If I run out of some material, fuck it. There is something else people can buy. That's it. If they want something very specific, then they can order it. So if I have the last mahogany chunk there, and they want a cutting board out of mahogany, I tell them pay it now. I'm gonna get the materials, and I'm gonna make you one. It's made to order. That's going to be the deal if I run out of stock. But I have stock of basically everything, a bunch. Yeah, so this is what I learned business wise, and I think this is the biggest lesson I can give you, or a biggest advice I can give you. Learn from my mistake before you start your own business. You know, don't treat it as a freelance job. Don't treat it as a contractor job. Don't invest on predictions. I had no parents. I grew up basically with a half-blind mother who was working the fields to feed me when I was a boy, and an abusive alcoholic father who had no was like jobless, and then he went into a mental asylum. Long story short, I had no parental help or teaching how to deal with life and how to run a business or how to do anything, you know. So I'm learning everything as I go along, and I'm 37 years old, but I'm a 37 years old boy. I'm not a man. I'm far from it. I'm just a fucking teenager who's still trying to figure out how to do things in life. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is, this is the way you learn. So this is what I learned. And if you want to talk about it, and if you want to start your own business or your own retail shop, dude, feel free, hit me up in your email, in my email, AeginaCraft@gmail.com. I'm happy to chat about it. Happy to give you advice or tell you my experience. I don't want to give financial advice because, yeah, I don't, I'm broke. Like, don't take financial advice from me. But I can tell you what I learned. You know what I mean? In the winter, I really want to do a retreat here or a getaway for people who want to do some handiwork, do some crafting, and want to, go on a holiday and some shit. So that's something I'm working on. I'm playing with the idea. Give me some time. It's probably going to be some energy and money to invest, but once the weather is cooler, I have more mental space to deal with things. Um, I'm rambling on. So that's basically what I learned from the business side of things. People, it doesn't matter what you sell. If that's the other thing I learned. When people come in here, they just see a bunch of shit. When you start talking to them and you tell the story of your vision when you were making that tray, or your experience when you've done that, or why am I collecting sand from the sea, and how I deal with my ADHD triggers with the sand, and tell your personal stories, they want to buy your stuff, you know? And that's my advice on selling. Don't try to sell anything. It's not going to work. People don't want to buy shit. But instead, try to share, try to share your experience with the item you made, your vision, your ideas, your thinking, and people want to have a piece of that. People want to have a memento to remember you by, or remember the story you told by, or just help you out a little. Maybe that's the way to sell things. I don't know, I hate to sell things, but when I tell people the story of the things here, they want a little piece of my soul with them. And I think that's how I was able to make a sale every time when someone came in here. And that is basically the review. That is basically the recap of the first month of the shop. I grew a lot. I learned a lot. I grew as a businessman. I grew as a person, an artist. I matured. You know, I think I think this is a good journey. I took myself upon thingy birds English water. So all I'm trying to say is I didn't know what I'm gonna get out of this. What lessons I'm gonna get out of this business? What's gonna happen with AeginaCraft? You know, I just jumped in and hey, you see where the water takes us, kind of. And so far, it's been only a month, and I learned so much. And I really hope I keep on learning, and I will be able to share my experience with you, with my AeginaCraft family. I'm fucking grateful for you, every single one of you, because during these times, you know, you kept me sane. Your support, your help. Oh my God, your positivity. I don't believe in myself, but I believe in the you who believes in me. I learned this a long time ago from a very powerful man. And I will try to pass this message on to you. If you don't believe in yourself, believe in the me who believes in you. So thank you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the advice, the positivity, the emails, the messages, sharing your story. Thank you for everything, guys. And you made it possible for AeginaCraft to exist, at least for another month. Thank you for watching. Bye.